All right, so just getting mocked up for the linkages here. Look, you can tell, got the saddle mount here, and that's looking pretty daggone good. Saddle mount down here, that's looking good. Got this hook straightened out here. It's actually a 90-degree angle, so we don't have an interference with the spring anymore. The one that was on there used to just ride on that spring. But yeah, that's how it's looking. And so just have these parts fabricated now. And just a piece of 1-inch round stock with a 3/8 tube, 3/8 ID tube, just inside there like that. Okay, so these parts are done. This is what they look like. And these are going to get welded onto here like this, right? But what I don't want this round to be on the flat just like that. So I'm gonna stand it off like that. I'm gonna put a little piece of 1-inch square tubing in here that I'm gonna cope out. So we're just gonna cope this 1-inch square out to receive that round. So it looks pretty good, nice and coped out. Just going to clean up that burr, and then we'll go ahead and put it on our part. Okay, so we just got the tubing coped out here, and pretty good fit up. It's going to be good, both sides. So now just need to cut this to length and then weld it on. All right, guys, here's the new linkage, just sort of loosely fit up. And you can see here's the old sort of linkage. Here's how we're looking down here. So everything's open now down here. No more interference with the spring or anything. Everything is standalone. So now you got lots of adjustment here, Mike. You can make this fork as tight or as loose as you want, however tight you want the action to be. You'll have lots of adjustment there for that now. Okay, just gonna get ready to start working on this bottom die for the hammer. And this casting has a hole drilled in it for this location pin. And there's also a hole in the bottom of the die for it. And it's pretty loose in there. All right, so just goes in like that. And this sort of goes on top of it, right? And you can see how much movement is in here. And that's because this casting is completely wallowed out. The die is a little bit, but not so bad. Not as bad as the cast. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to drill this for a 1/2-inch hole. Same here, I think this started out at 7/16 or something like that. All right, so just got these holes drilled out here, cleaned up. They cleaned up at ½ inch at 500 thousandths. So I don't want to take any more than I have to, but it's tough for you guys to see down in that hole. But it cleaned up. It's a little rough around, it's chipped around the top here, but the whole diameter down in there for the most part is all newly machined. So I'm starting out with a piece of 5/8 right here. Starting out with a piece of 5/8 right here, and just gonna turn it down to, I'm gonna make it a little heavier than ½ inch. That drill probably overcut that hole anyway, so I'll probably start like at 510 thousandths and then take it out and try it and see, but I want to have a nice tight fit in there. All right, so just got these holes cleaned up, both sides, and got a nice machine fit. The casting's a little looser, but it's not as bad as it was with this one. So that's good to go. Nice new pin. This one is out of here. This is the next thing. Wasn't really sure what I was going to do with this. Wasn't really sure what I was going to do with this. I don't know, it's scorched or something. It's got these big gouges in it. There's a huge crack right here. I can literally stick this probe in there and it'll hold itself. So, and then I think it kind of goes all the way back here and maybe up here a little bit. And then the ear on this side's bent in a little bit. This one's bent in a little bit, but this one's really bent in. I'm going to kind of bend that back. Kind of find out what's underneath here, do a little archaeology. And yeah, see that crack goes all the way up there. So I feel like there's a giant void under here. Maybe it's an old shim or something, I don't know. But I'm gonna grind it out a little bit and see what's left. And then if it's still got enough meat left, we'll just shim it, or we may fill it in with weld, some wire, and then machine it flat. All right, after a little grinding, it's all pot marked. So what I think this is an old shim that's actually just clad on to here. Like you can see, it's just thin metal. Let's see if I can get you guys a better look here. It's like I can almost get underneath it. So I'm going to keep grinding this off and see if I can get the rest of this off of here. Okay, so I feel a lot better about that. I think that was just a clad-on old shim, probably the original one or whatever, but it cleaned up real good. I don't want to take it down any further than that. That's going to be just fine. Lots of thickness left there. That makes me feel a lot better. I was really worried about this part for a while, but not so bad.